Hello everyone, this is Sarah, Creatrix, and you're listening to episode 7 of my podcast, which is all about bridging the gap between science and spirituality. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to switch off the monkey mind, how to let go of all of those anxious thoughts and find that inner state of peace. So I am somebody that would meditate 2-3 times a day. And everybody, whether you are an experienced meditator or you're living in a constant state of anxiety, we all experience this feeling where we just can't switch off those thoughts, and it's really, really frustrating. The last few days, I have really struggled to meditate, and I have been trying hard. I've been meditating for a good hour, and I am getting myself into relaxed states, but the brain just won't switch off. So I'm going to channel a message about this because this is something that can help everybody, even if you're living in a constant state of anxiety, or if you are somebody who is able to meditate, switch the brain off, and then you have certain days where you just can't relax. I'm going to channel why this happens, what we can do about it, because when we're able to switch the brain off, we are more connected to our higher purpose. We're more connected with ourselves. We're more connected to love. We're more able to sit in the present moment. When you're sitting in the present moment, you're detached from the past and you're detached from the future. Because when you're living in the past and the future, you're living in fear, because all your past memories have fear attached to them, and all your future memories also have fear attached to them, because you're thinking, what if this happens? What if that happens, based on your past experiences? When you're able to meditate and really switch the brain off, you're in the present moment. That fear goes away and you get clarity on everything. You can see things so much clearer. You're able to connect with yourself. You're able to feel all that love and abundance. You're able to receive guidance and messages and psychic visions. You're able to step away from situations that are kind of controlling you and taking over your peace, and find easy solutions to resolve whatever it is that you're going through in your life right now. If you're a spiritual healer, you're an energy healer, you're a mentor, a life coach, whatever it is that you do, you can use this state of peace, this clarity, to help other people. You can guide your children better. You can guide your family members and loved ones better. You're able to connect with your partner more. So I actually had a client, or a potential client, reach out to me, wanted to do one of my courses. And they actually turned around and said to me, do you know what? I've been on your website. I've connected to all the free guided meditations that you have on there. I'm just going to be doing those. I'm going to be focusing on meditating every day. Don't need to do a course with you right now. Absolutely perfect. That is the best thing that she could do. Because if she does need extra support or guidance, because sometimes we get stuck, we need somebody else to come in, remove blocks, show us things that we can't see, give us reassurance, help us build that confidence, give the validation that we need to move forward, she'll get that guidance in the meditation. Go to Sarah, go to somebody else. Whatever she needs, she will see. And those are the clients that I want. Those are the ones that I love working with, because they can intuitively feel what they need. And they put that effort into their growth and their spiritual journey, into the healing work that they're doing, because they're already tapped into it. They're already connected. And it makes it so much easier because they're not resisting or fighting against me. They're not trying to overthink everything and overcomplicate everything. We're able to work together in flow. And it's absolutely amazing. That's when the big, big shifts happen. And it doesn't matter how much resistance somebody has. If they're able to connect intuitively within, perfect. They're open to the work. They're open to the healing. They see their path. They intuitively connect to what I'm saying as well. You know, they feel the truth in it, and that's very powerful when they're healing, when they're growing, when they're learning to work with energy, they're doing a spiritual development course with me, whatever it is that they're doing is going to make their experience so much more powerful. So anyway, I'm going to detach from all of that now, and I'm really going to focus on myself. This is what we don't do enough of. And this is probably why my brain won't switch off. We're so focused on other people, everything outside of ourselves. Meditation is a great way of connecting within yourself. Because everything that you see outside of yourself, I won't bore you with all of this stuff, but everything that you manifest, everything that you see is a manifestation of what you're feeling inside of yourself. So, for example, if you're in a state where you're chasing success and you want to grow your business, you want more money, then that's the lack that you're going to be creating in your reality, because there's a void there that you're trying to fill. I need more success. Why do you need those things? It's coming from a feeling of lack. And you're going to see that lack. You're going to have to work hard and detach from your intuition in order to make that happen. As soon as you start connecting to your intuition, it's not going to work that way. Your business isn't going to respond in the way that you want it to respond. You're going to have to listen to that intuition, that guidance, and that's where the success comes from connecting within. Same in relationships, same in finding that inner peace and happiness. When we're controlling everything outside of ourselves, then we're feeding that feeling of lack within our subconscious, something missing. Because inner peace comes from that feeling of, I have everything that I need. I don't need anything more. But I can ask for more. I can ask for a more divine and connected relationship. I can ask to feel more love and joy in my everyday life. But there's no lack. It's not coming from that sense of lack. So again, if you're in the present moment, that's when you're going to be feeling where all of that abundance is going to come from, all of that love and success is going to come from. It's your guide. It's guiding you onto your highest and happiest path. And the mind will come back in as soon as you come out of that meditation, and it's like, I need to work hard, I need to control, I need to do this, I need to chase, I need to step away, I need to detach, all this control is working against that state of flow. When you're in that state of flow, everything just happens for you. So I intuitively feel big shifts coming into my life, and I'm scared of them. So again, fear, when we're feeling that fear, it activates the nervous system, and the nervous system will communicate between the energetic body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the physical body. That's what the nervous system does. It sends signals from the brain. It changes your emotional state. It changes your physical state. So as soon as you energetically, for example, feel something isn't right in your reality, it activates the brain. The brain kicks in. Something's not right. We need the brain to sort this situation out. Then it signals the body. You feel uncomfortable. What's going on? You start tensing up and getting ready to action whatever it is that's coming your way. And you start feeling emotional. Something isn't right. Somebody doesn't like me. Something's going to happen. You feel uneasy. We can override the nervous system when we are in the present moment. We can use our intuition to really understand what is going on, what is coming our way, so that we can navigate around any obstacles that come towards us. And this is when life starts becoming amazing, because you're no longer living in that state of fear. And you're able to feel something isn't working out for you. Maybe there's a redundancy coming your way. You're intuitively feeling that's going to come into your life. You're already preparing yourself. You're already one step ahead of that obstacle. But if we're doing it through the nervous system, peace is lost. It's paranoia. We start overthinking everything. We start creating even more fear because we start looking for problems where there is none. Something doesn't feel right. Maybe I could lose my job. What if it's this? Maybe my boss doesn't like me. What if it's that? What if it's that? Everyone hates me. Everyone's talking about what's going on. What am I going to do? Money. And then the monkey brain starts creating more problems, more stress. So I have people all the time that come to me and they're like, everything keeps going wrong. Everything in my house keeps breaking. My car keeps breaking down. This happened wrong and that. We're creating those situations through those feelings of fear and those feelings of lack. Something's missing. Something's not right. And we're manifesting more of that stuff. So let me just feel into my current situation. Because I've worked through a lot of this stuff, you know, I've been doing a lot of healing work. So I've healed a lot of fear, a lot of trauma, a lot of my past memories and belief systems are no longer controlling me. I've reprogrammed the subconscious. So why am I feeling like there's something big's coming into my life? I don't trust myself. So yeah, I've done a lot of healing, but I don't trust myself. That is what I'm scared about. Something massive is coming into my life and I don't trust myself to deal with it because I've never had something this big come into my life before. I've been doing a lot of work on myself to manifest these things into my life, but I don't feel prepared. So why don't I trust myself? Because I get myself into sticky situations. I allow other people to control me, or I have allowed other people to control me. Maybe I still do. I have got myself into bad relationships. I've ignored the red flags. I've allowed people to hurt me, to mistreat me. I've allowed myself to get myself in states where I have become redundant, where my business has failed or hasn't created the success that I've wanted. I've lost my temper. I've said things that I didn't mean. I've hurt people. I've been hurt. I've cried and had nobody to support me. And this is what we do. We project all this stuff outside. They hurt me. They did this. They did that. They did that. That person did that to me. And that's not how it is. I've done enough healing work to know that I'm manifesting everything in my reality. It's myself that I don't trust. I don't trust myself. I don't trust my choices. I don't trust how I react to situations. Yeah, I react to things a lot better. But there's been times in the past that kind of align with what is coming into my life that haven't worked out for me. And I hold a lot of emotion around that. I've healed it. But my body's not stupid. My intuition remembers that what's coming into my life, those two things that are coming into my life have caused me the most pain and the most suffering. Some of these situations as well have created PTSD because everything was going great with these two things in my life. And then all of a sudden they were taken away from me very unexpectedly. So this has created a deep feeling of shock, post-traumatic stress disorder. And then when you experience things unexpectedly in this way, then your nervous system is like, right, I don't want her to go through that again. I need to protect her. The ego starts creating all these illusions to protect you from having to go through that pain and suffering again. And that's all of the illusions that I've been working through and breaking, healing. Now that those illusions are gone, that thing's still coming in my life because the ego was trying to push it away. It was trying to get me to control it. And I'm not doing that anymore. So it really doesn't matter what stage you are on your spiritual journey or your healing journey. Some people don't connect to the spiritual side. You know, you just want to heal. You want to find peace. You want to be successful. You want to be happy. You want to have a good family and a good relationship. No matter what stage you're at, even if you just started, even if you haven't started anything yet, this is going to help everybody. But when we understand something, we're able to shift our perspective quite quickly. Like, it's taken me a lot of healing work. I've never really had a mentor or anyone that I could rely on, because I've always had this very powerful way of channeling and connecting to my higher self. So I've always trusted that more than other people, because I could feel sometimes that biased opinion would creep in there. People would tell me the wrong thing. And again, that's created a bit of trauma for me. So I trust myself. But I don't trust myself. This is the issue. I trust myself, but I don't trust myself. So when I'm healing somebody else, if you're a healer, or you work with other people or support other people, you will relate to this. When it comes to supporting or helping somebody else, even if it's just a family member, it's so much easier than trying to figure your own stuff out, because you have attachments to your own situation, to your own trauma, to all the things that went wrong. When you're seeing it through somebody else's eyes, you don't have that attachment. So it's easy to give them advice and guidance and support them. It's easy for me to channel information. As soon as I'm sat down with a client, all my stuff goes, all my trauma goes. I am fully focused on them, and I can get myself into beautiful heightened states where I can fully support people. Something just shifts, something just switches off. But when it comes to my own stuff, it takes longer. And maybe it's because I haven't had the support that I needed, whether it's growing up or whether it's when I started my spiritual journey. I always felt like I was 10 steps ahead, and it's felt very lonely because people haven't understood my spiritual ability, my spiritual experiences. And I don't want other people to go through that. So yeah, everyone's like, oh, it's great being ahead of the game a little bit. There's been a bit of jealousy, a bit of competitive energy that I've had to sort of battle through. Again, all my own trauma, all my own experiences, feeling lonely, feeling like I'm misunderstood. People don't understand. I'm ahead of the game. These again are traumas and experiences from my past that are manifesting into my reality. It doesn't make me special, doesn't make me great. And I don't want other people to go through that. I like to be able to be there and support people and give them the validation that they need to help them understand what they're going through, because I never had that. When you don't have that support system around you, you're fully dependent on yourself. And it puts a lot of pressure. A lot of my clients are very aligned with what I'm going through. So a lot of people that connect with me also connect with my experiences of feeling a little bit isolated, feeling like the black sheep, feeling like you don't fully fit in, and having to go through things alone. Maybe people feel like you're stronger than you are, so they don't give you that support. Maybe you're very authentic and people feel threatened by that, or they see that as a strength. You're not using vulnerability or manipulation tactics in order to get that support, so people dismiss you a lot. Doesn't matter if you're going through that or not, but if you are, a lot of people that find a mentor will find a mentor that's going through something similar to themselves. They like that connection, that relationship. No, we never really trust in ourselves. When you're not able to trust in yourself, it can feel very scary. I'm going to channel some information now on how I can work through this, because I've done so much healing work and I've been guided that I don't need to do any more healing work. I just need to shift my perspective somehow. So yeah, I've established that I don't trust in myself, and that's what's causing me to fall into my survival mode, my fight or flight, not able to switch the mind off. And the obvious answer is to change my perspective and trust in myself, trust in the universe. It's not that easy. We can't just choose how to react to situations when we have all this memory of things going wrong. I've not always been able to control situations. I've not always had things go my way. And that's really scary. And I'm really struggling to channel this message. And this happens because the ego already intuitively knows what I need to know in order to get myself out of this situation, this feeling where I can't trust myself. Because some of you may be shouting, just change your perspective and trust yourself more and say positive affirmations. But the trauma goes so much deeper than that. If I'm not able to intuitively connect to what it is that I need to do, then there's some big resistance there. There are ego illusions, and we cannot just change our mindset. We cannot just make that shift. And that's why it's really important to get a mentor to help pull you out of these sticky situations. And a lot of people go, I choose to be in unconditional love. I choose this path for myself, to be kinder to others. I choose to forgive. But if you can't switch your mind off and intuitively feel what that feels like, then you can't trick yourself into those states of being, because your ego won't allow it. The ego is keeping that control. And the ego doesn't forgive. The ego doesn't love unconditionally. The ego doesn't open your heart to abundance and help you to flow into this deep state of being, to this natural, happy, peaceful state. You're in this fight of ego versus higher self. And that's something that's really important to understand, because I do see a lot of people who just choose to be something. And it creates the illusion that they're more healed than they are. And it's a journey. It's something that is keeping us away from authenticity, because if I don't trust myself, I don't love myself. There's parts of me that I don't like about myself. So how am I supposed to move to self-love? Yes, I've had these spiritual awakenings and I'm like, I'm in self-love, everything's amazing. But then as I'm opening up my spiritual ability, my sensitivities are growing. And as your sensitivities grow, new stuff comes up and presents itself. And that stuff isn't aligned with where you're currently vibrating. So a lot of people see spiritual growth as an end goal. Maybe that's my problem. I'm trying to achieve that end goal. I can see something coming into my life, and when I've achieved it, I'll be healed, I'll be happy. And I'm controlling it coming into my life. And this is the difficulty when you receive psychic guidance. Something's going to happen for you. And we're like, oh, amazing. I'm going to start putting that in motion. I'm going to start opening myself up to that happening. And that's where we need to just detach sometimes. Yeah, you know something's coming into your life. You know something could happen for you. We need to let go of our attachment to whatever it is, because we're on a journey. It's keeping us in the future. And that future holds fear because we don't understand it. When we control it, we start manifesting the same patterns from our past into our future. That cycle will repeat itself until we're healed enough to let go of control. Maybe I need to keep working on building that trust. Maybe I need to work on that self-love in order to feel worthy of that thing. Maybe I'm not feeling that my self-worth or my self-love is aligned with whatever's coming into my life. That's fine. I'm just going to focus on where I am now. I'm just going to learn the lessons today and not focus on tomorrow. Because I know that if I follow my guidance and I let go and I welcome everything into my life without control, with an open heart, then it's going to come to me in the best way that it can come to me. It's going to come to me in ways that I never could even imagine. And that's when the magic happens. Because if I know something's coming in, I've already, in my mind, thought about every single scenario of how it's going to come into my life. I've already thought about it because I'm so attached to it, because it's so exciting. I'm going to feel amazing. That isn't what's going to make me feel amazing. The only thing that's going to make me feel amazing is the ability to let go. Just allow things to open up like a flower. That flower will close in the winter and it will open up again in the spring. And it's the cycles of life. And when we let go of all this control, which isn't an easy thing to do, I work with my clients very heavily on letting go of control. It takes a lot of work. Some people are able to let go of that control a lot quicker than others. Depends how that control has impacted on your life. But I'm just going to focus on where I am now, focus on everything that I have now, because I already have love, success, peace. I already have a beautiful spiritual gift and connection that I've been working too hard to control. Let go of more illusion, let go of more ego. Because when I do let go, actually I move into this state of self-healing where I just am shown whatever it is that I need to see. And sometimes we can force that coming into our life. Yeah, you've got to make the choices. You've got to make the choices to heal, to grow, to go and see somebody to support you. Those are choices that you have to make. But that's all we need to do. We just need to make the choice, make the decision, and allow ourselves to flow into that better way of being, that higher state, that more peaceful state. Because when we're controlling, we're actually resisting it. So if you're a trauma healer, how many people have said that they want to work with you and then they've resisted? I haven't got enough money, I haven't got enough time. That is control. Make the decision, feel it in the heart, and just feel into what you need to do, because your body never lies. If you feel uncertain, something's not right. There's something that is getting in the way. If you're connecting to a certain person and you feel really uneasy around them, something's not right there. Trust your gut more. The body will react in the way that it needs to react to warn you of danger. If you feel really open and relaxed around a certain person or a job opportunity, it just feels right in your heart. And it's just following and trusting in the body. Because even if you can't meditate, even if you can't afford to have somebody supporting you with receiving guidance, trust in the body. The body never ever lies. So we feel uncomfortable, we feel tightness, whatever. Yes, there may be fears and things we need to work through. But in your current situation, something isn't right. Yes, you can heal that thing. So you don't get yourself in that situation, or you don't attract that certain person. But in that present moment, it's not right for you. And it's not about letting go and detaching and running away from it, because again, that's control. It's about just trusting your gut. Maybe avoid investing in whatever it is that doesn't feel comfortable for you right now. So you may be doing something in your business, in your career, and it just doesn't feel right. It feels difficult, it feels hard. That isn't your highest path. Your body will tell you whatever is in your highest path at that moment. And that's all you need to focus on. So I hope that's helped. I know it's helped me. And if you've made it this far into the podcast, I'm sending you so much love. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to share anything, if you want to give me any feedback, if you want to work with me. I work with my clients on a one-to-one basis in trauma healing, energy mastery, spiritual development. I can help people create more abundance, more success, more love, more peace, more happiness in their life, finding that better way of being, evolving moving away from feeling stuck, making the same mistakes, repeating the same patterns. I can pull you out of that stuff, you know. So feel free to get in contact. I am on TikTok under Sarah Creatrix. I have recently come off Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of resistance for me to do that, but I'm trusting the guidance and it feels right in my body. So I have come off Facebook and Instagram, but I'm on TikTok under Sarah Creatrix. The app is really easy to download if you don't have TikTok. And enjoy the rest of your day.